The Senate of the Republic was in tension. Rumors of treason and corruption circulated through the corridors of Coruscant. Mace Windu, always distrustful of the Chancellor's intentions, sensed that something was beyond ordinary politics. Reports from various systems showed that Palpatine's power was growing excessively, and that the liberties of the Republic were being lost under the pretext of war. In a Jedi Council meeting, he stated, "If the Senate does not act, we will have to consider alternatives." Obi-Wan raised his eyes, realizing the weight of those words. Yoda, silent, observed, as if he already knew where everything was heading. The Jedi Code had always been clear regarding loyalty to the Republic, but the Order also had the duty to protect freedom. In secret, Windu began gathering documents, evidence of the Chancellor's manipulations. Bail Organa, in parallel, gathered discontented senators. Both knew that Order 65 existed, a rare directive that allowed the Senate to remove a chancellor if he was deemed a traitor. "It is a resource that has never been used," Padme warned in a private conversation. "But if we do not use it now, when will we?" Mace answered only with a silence heavy with conviction. Anakin Skywalker, in the midst of his missions, felt increasingly divided. Chancellor Palpatine had become a mentor and friend, but the Order was beginning to treat him as a threat. When Mace told him about the suspicions, Anakin reacted with fury. "He is the only one who truly understands me, Master Windu. You only fear him because he has power." But Windu did not back down, staring firmly at the young knight. "Precisely because he has too much power, Skywalker. It is our duty to prevent him from consuming everything." The Jedi Council met again. Yoda, speaking in his deep voice, declared, "Dark is the future. Control too much the Chancellor desires. Intervene we must." Some masters hesitated, but consensus slowly formed. Palpatine had taken control of the Senate, justice, and the army. Only one free institution remained, the Jedi Order. Mace Windu formally proposed, "Order 65 must be triggered. The Senate must know that the Chancellor no longer acts in favor of the Republic." The weight of the decision hung over all, but there was no turning back. That same night, Mace and Bail Organa met secretly in a remote hangar. "Do we have enough votes?" asked the Jedi Master. The senator nodded with a weary air. "Yes. Tomorrow, if it is put to a vote, Palpatine will fall. But you know he will not accept this in silence." Windu clenched his fist. "Then we must be ready." The galaxy's destiny began to change with those words. Meanwhile, Palpatine observed everything from his tower in Coruscant. His gaze pierced the shadows, as if he knew every move of his enemies. In a whisper, almost like a promise to destiny itself, he said, "Let them try. The galaxy is already mine." The first steps of the final confrontation were set, and the Republic was about to witness a battle between law and absolute power. The senators loyal to freedom organized silently, preparing the official act that would trigger Order 65. Padme spoke in private meetings, reinforcing the need to preserve democracy. "If we allow one man to concentrate everything in his hands, we will cease to be a republic. We will become servants." Mace Windu, in turn, reinforced Jedi discipline. "It will not only be a political act. We must be ready to face a Sith." The tension between Anakin and the Council grew each day. He felt he was being pushed away from central discussions, which only increased his distrust. Obi-Wan tried to appease his friend. "Anakin, listen. No one is against you. We just have reasons to believe that Palpatine is not who he seems to be." But the young knight responded coldly, "You do not trust him because you do not trust me." Thus, the seeds of division silently flourished. The following dawn brought the spark of the crisis. Senators marched into the Grand Hall, where the act would be voted on. The galleries were packed. Reporters from distant systems awaited every word. Bail Organa raised his voice, presenting the gathered evidence. Secret decrees, war manipulations, illegal extensions of power. Palpatine, seated in his elevated chair, listened silently, with a smile that seemed more like mockery. Mace Windu and other masters were present, watching. It was more than a political judgment. It was the confrontation between truth and lies. When the vote result was announced, the majority declared the immediate removal of the Chancellor. The Senate echoed with applause and cries of surprise, but Palpatine did not rise. His eyes shone with the intensity of a storm about to explode. The atmosphere in Coruscant changed instantly. Clones began moving strangely through the streets, receiving orders that came directly from the Chancellor's office. Mace knew there was no time left for speeches. Now we will discover who he truly is. The Jedi positioned themselves, ready for the storm that was about to fall. Palpatine rose before all, his voice echoing in the Senate. "You dare accuse me of treason. I am the Republic." But before he could continue, Windu advanced, purple lightsaber in hand. "No, Palpatine. You are the enemy of what we swore to protect." The first clash of blades thundered in the heart of the capital, and so began the battle that would forever change the fate of the galaxy. The duel inside the Senate became the center of all attention. Bolts of energy burst from Palpatine's hands, clashing against the sabers of Mace and the masters who accompanied him. The public, in shock, retreated, seeking refuge in the upper galleries. "He is a Sith!" shouted Bail Organa, his voice drowned out by the roar of the fight. For many senators, that revelation seemed unimaginable, but the evidence was right before their eyes. Anakin arrived in haste, drawn by the turbulence in the Force. His eyes searched for Palpatine, and his heart raced. "No!" he cried, trying to approach. "You do not understand. He can save Padme," Mace Windu replied without taking his eyes off the enemy. "He can only save himself, Skywalker." "Open your eyes!" The tension between them grew, each word adding weight to the choice Anakin would have to make. Yoda, returning from Kashyyyk, entered the Senate amidst the chaos. His green lightsaber shone as he leapt to face the Sith. "Too much power. In you, I feel." "Darkness, your essence is Palpatine," laughed, releasing more lightning at the two masters now surrounding him. The scene looked mythological, as if the destiny of the galaxy was materializing in a single confrontation. Meanwhile, the clones, confused by the contradictory orders, began to divide. Some received secret commands from the Chancellor. Others responded to the Jedi generals. The conflict exploded into battles through the streets of Coruscant, turning the capital into a war zone. Civilians fled, and the Republic teetered on the edge of total collapse. "Either we win today, or the galaxy will never recover," declared Obi-Wan, joining the fight. Palpatine unleashed a roar of fury, using the Force to hurl senators and chairs through the air. Anakin, stunned, hesitated. He saw the cruelty of the man he called a friend, but also felt the weight of promises whispered in confidence. Padme appeared in his thoughts, fragile, and the fear of losing her still dominated him. "Help me, Anakin," pleaded Palpatine, even amidst the combat. "Without me, you will not save what you love." Windu noticed the young man's hesitation and advanced with a swift strike, disarming the Chancellor for a moment. "This is the moment. Let us end him now." But Anakin intervened, holding the Jedi Master's arm. "No, you do not understand. I need him." The shock made the Force vibrate in the air, as if the entire balance was on the verge of collapse. Yoda looked at Anakin with sadness. "Lost, you almost are. Choose, now you must." The fight extended through the Senate's corridors, glass shattering, columns destroyed by the strikes. Palpatine, even cornered, displayed monstrous power, sustained by the hatred and fear he fed in his opponents. "You cannot defeat me. I am inevitable," he roared, as lightning destroyed the ceiling above them. Mace replied, "Nothing is inevitable when one has courage to face tyranny." The balance of the battle began to tilt when more Jedi arrived. Plo Koon reinforced the offensive. Palpatine was now cornered, and for the first time his smile disappeared. "You dare rise against me?" he shouted, his voice full of hatred. Bail Organa answered from the background. "No, we rise for the Republic." Anakin still had not made his choice. His eyes moved between Palpatine and the Masters. The sound of sabers, sparks, the cries of war outside. Everything mixed into a storm in his mind. Obi-Wan approached him, placing a hand on his shoulder. Anakin, remember who you are. You do not need him to be strong. You are already the chosen one. These words echoed deeply, planting a seed that began to push away the fear. Palpatine, noticing Anakin's hesitation, tried one last desperate blow. They will never accept you. You will always be an outsider. I am the only one who can give you power. But at that moment, Anakin stepped back, closing his eyes and shutting off his saber. I will not be anyone's slave. The Force seemed to sigh around him, as if that act had altered the flow of destiny. Windu advanced once more, ready to finish the confrontation. Mace's final strike hit Palpatine, knocking him to the ground. The Chancellor roared in hatred, his face now disfigured by the energy he himself had unleashed. But Windu did not hesitate. The Republic will live without you. With one last movement, he raised the saber above the enemy's head, while screams and lightning illuminated the Senate. The decisive moment had arrived, and the galaxy held its breath. Palpatine's body fell before all, and silence took over the Senate. Lightning still crackled on the shattered walls, but the threat had been eliminated. Senators and citizens watched in disbelief. The man who had ruled with an iron hand had been revealed as a Sith Lord and defeated before all. Bail Organa rose, declaring, "The Republic is free again." That day would be remembered as the darkest, and at the same time, the beginning of a new hope. Mace Windu slowly shut down his saber, looking at the masters around him. The fight is not over. He has left deep scars. We must rebuild what was destroyed. Yoda nodded. Long the path will be, but restored, the order shall be. The battle had been won, but the Jedi knew new challenges would arise. Darkness always found ways to return. Anakin remained silent, staring at Palpatine's lifeless body. In his heart, there was relief and loss at the same time. He had rejected the easy power, but still carried the weight of fear for Padme. Obi-Wan approached, trying to comfort him. "You made the right choice, Anakin. That is what set you apart from him." The young knight only replied, "Then why do I still feel like I lost something?" The conflict within him was far from over. The Senate immediately began the transition of power. Padme was one of the most influential voices, asking that democracy be restored in its essence. "We will not allow another man to concentrate so much power again. The Republic must be strong but just." The crowd applauded, and her speech became a symbol of the new era that was being born. Bail Organa and other senators reinforced the measures, ensuring that the law would be respected. Yoda, seated in meditation, reflected on everything that had happened. Balance. Achieved it was. But watched it must be. Always temptation of power there will be. His words echoed among the Jedi, serving as a reminder that victory was not absolute. The Force had been illuminated, but the path of vigilance would never end. Anakin found Padme after the chaos. She ran into his arms, relieved to see him alive. "I feared you would be lost forever." He embraced her, feeling the weight lift from his shoulders. "I almost was. But today, I chose to be free." Padme smiled, though tears filled her eyes. "Then perhaps there is hope for all of us." The victory thus gained an even more intimate meaning. The Jedi returned to the temple in Coruscant, now guarded with greater rigor. The statues raised in honor of the ancient masters seemed to witness the new phase that was beginning. Windu, before the council, declared, "The order must change. If we are too rigid, we will lose ourselves. If we are too weak, we will be destroyed. We must find balance." Yoda replied, "Balance. Destiny always sought." The new order was beginning to take shape. Thus, the execution of Order 65 not only saved the Republic, but also changed the destiny of the Force. Balance was preserved, though fragile and full of uncertainties. The victory of Windu and the Jedi became legend, remembered as the day when courage defeated tyranny. But in everyone's hearts remained the memory that darkness never disappears completely. It always waits in the shadows, awaiting its next chance to return.